Hello and welcome to round 2 of the Parenting Roundabout podcast. I'm Terri Morrow and I'm here with Catherine Haleko. Say hi, Catherine.
Hi, Terri.
Usually on this podcast we talk about parenting issues, but once a week, Catherine and I like to get together to discuss TV, movies, books, and other entertainment topics because it's nice to talk about something other than parenting for a change. This week, we are going to start the next batch of the Good Place episodes and discuss the movie Bridesmaids. But first, the Golden Globes.
That's right.
So, we watched the Golden Globes, and we did not live tweet them as we have in the past, but we let them roll by us. And what did you think of the ceremony?
Well, unlike the Oscars, they had like zero filler. I think because it covers movies and TV.
It's so weird.
They have to bust through a lot of stuff. And also they split up things into motion picture, into musical or comedy.
Yeah.
Although the funny thing I think is that for all the movie awards, they split them into drama versus musical or comedy. And except for Best Director, it's for anything.
Yeah, see, if they had split that up, probably Greta Gerwig could have got a nomination, and then they could have patted themselves on the back.
I know. I think that's strange.
Yeah.
And also even, is Lady Bird a comedy?
I think it was wasn't it for the actress? It was because...
Well, no, it was. It won Best Picture for musical or comedy, but... just from what I'm hearing about it, it doesn't sound like it's a barrel of laughs. I mean, it sounds really good.
Compared to the things that are in the drama category, maybe.
I guess. I'd like to see it. It sounds really well done and good, and I think Saoirse Ronan is really good.
Very nice pronunciation.
And Laurie.
Everybody has
Laurie
got her
Metcalf.
name down pat now, man. If she were to quit Hollywood, there would be a lot of heartbroken people.
I did notice that whichever Hemsworth was announcing her name backed off and let his co-presenter
Yes, I noticed that too. So she memorized it. He did not.
You go ahead.
But
you got this.
Yeah, it's these awards are so weird because there's so many categories, and like you said, things are split, and there's TV and there's movies. I think they used to do it where they would do all the TV regular series awards, and then they would do all the TV movie awards, and then they would do all the regular movies. So it was like you would just get all of a level done. I don't feel like they did that this time. I felt like they were kind of all scattered around.
Yeah, they definitely were. Although at the end it was mostly movies, which is sort of the prestige spot is at the end of the night.
And did they give the best actress for Pretty Little Lies before they gave the best supporting actress? Did they just want to put Laura Dern later in the evening? Was Nicole saying, I'd like to drink? Could you put me early?
Right. Yeah, that's interesting.
It was weird.
I don't know, because I didn't see that, so I don't have a good sense of who was the strong, whose role was bigger.
Well, I mean, Nicole was best actress, and Laura was best supporting. So that was but you would expect them to have done in the other order. I don't know. Mm-hmm. It's very weird, and it's hard for me to keep track of the evening when they just scramble them all up like this, and what's for who and why, and but I was thrilled. One thing I have actually seen won an award. Go Aziz Ansari! Yay!
I know.
If he would keep winning stuff, then we at least have a little bit of a stake.
That's right. And, we did not see I, Tonya, but Alice and Janney. Always one of our favorites.
An interesting dress, yes.
I did not understand the dress was like a tribute to figure skating, if you ask me. Okay. Well, don't you think it looked like it could have? It could have.
I was trying to figure out, it looked like a butterfly, and then she had the bird on her shoulder, which apparently had a story to it, but she didn't share it.
I'd like to see that movie.
I know her. And I do know that song from The Greatest Showman, Yay. Did you listen to that video I talked about the other day? I'm going to give you the link. But you should watch it. And I was kind of ticked because they called out Keala Settle, who sings it. They called her out in the audience, and the camera did not go to her. And I thought, well, maybe is she not there? It looked like they were saying she was there. And I looked online, and by golly, she's there. She's got a pretty dress on and everything. So what the heck? camera people.
Yeah.
You can't find her. She's at the. I mean, they're all at the same table. I think. You know, she's somewhere in the vicinity of Hugh Jackman. Just
Right, look for him.
But so that was weird. But I was happy the song got it because it is a barn burner. So,
yeah. Well, did seeing this make you want to see any particular movies or shows?
Not really. Not particularly.
Not even the Greatest Showman? Or,
no.
But you already, maybe.
I don't go to movies, so it's very rare that something would come up that I saw a lot that I thought, nope, don't want to see that.
So it actually actively made you not want to see it.
Yeah, I've seen enough of that in that little intro thing. Excellent. Thank you.
That will do. Thank you very
so long.
much. All right. Well, what about clothing?
Yeah, it was an interesting night. Well, they made this thing where everybody's going to wear black to support this new group, Time's Up, and some of the actresses brought activists with them as their plus one. Which
and some of the actors had
all black
buttons, and they had like pins that said Time's Up.
Of course, they did.
I saw some.
But it's like, is black a bold statement at a formal event? Don't people wear black usually a lot? It's like, wear something dramatic if you're going to make a statement. Everybody's wearing black. What kind of sacrifice is that?
It feels like a compromise for sure, because it's not like you can't get an amazing gown that's black.
I know.
So,
in support of this cause, we're all going to wear fabulous gowns, okay? Are we agreed? Hey. Excellent. So,
well, I was not a fan of Catherine Zeta-Jones in her sheer nightie standing next to her 100-year-old father-in-law. That was super
she was one of the ones
weird.
I wanted to say, put those away, Catherine. But it's like
her and Sharon Stone.
Girl. Kate Hudson looked like she was wearing. I hoped she was wearing a plunging back dress backwards accidentally. There was some terrible wardrobe malfunction. Margot Robbie also was needing to sit up very straight the entire evening, and I would guess that's hard to do at a table with Alice and Janney, because I bet she's pretty funny. You're going to want to laugh, and you're going to have so much double-sided tape on you that if you take a deep breath, there's going to be trouble. Allison wisely had a nice high neckline on her and looked fabulous.
Well, I loved Elizabeth Moss and her jeweled collar.
Right.
I thought she looked very cool. I did not love Amy Sherman Palladino's tiny little top hat situation.
That was an interesting get-up. Emma Watson also had something on that I couldn't quite explain why she had thought that was a good idea. But, there was a lot of, I do feel there was a lot of them that were trying to have a high, a more, less of a plunging neckline. There was a lot of high necklines. There were a lot of sleeves. There was a lot more conservative look, which I think is fine. But in some cases, it was just weird. It was like, we're going to talk about Bridesmaids a little bit later in this podcast. And, Maya Rudolph's wedding dress there at the end that she puts on, and they laugh and laugh and laugh because there's just so much stuff. I felt like some of these dresses had just a little too much stuff. You can wear a high collar and just have it be simple. It doesn't have to have a bunch of stuff to make up for the fact that you have no cleavage showing. Really, it's okay. So, trust. Trust that people will still look at you and think you're beautiful if you just have a simple dress. I don't know. It was an odd dress year, I think, because of that. Because I think that they were trying to figure out how one does this.
Yes.
How one makes a political statement with a dress. What statement should we be making here other than the color black looks good on almost everybody?
Well, and you can kind of throw that together at fairly last minute.
That's true.
Because I think that this idea of wearing black came up fairly recently, and these people have been probably planning what they're going to wear for weeks, and so
maybe that's why some of the weirdness. I don't know, but given that, I'm really surprised at the unanimity of it. I don't think I saw anybody who wasn't wearing black. And
yeah, I think just the woman who was the president of the Hollywood Foreign Press, and she did have the pin on, and she actually looked fabulous, I thought.
Yeah. I was Googling around and I found a photo gallery. It's women who didn't wear black at the Golden Globes. And I thought, okay, here we go. Now I'll have something to talk about. It was 2 models I'd never heard of and the president of the Hollywood Foreign Press. It's a 3-slide show. So did they stop everybody's limo and say, excuse me, are you wearing black? Come here, we got a dress for you.
Right.
Change.
Here's a rack of all of your choices.
Guys, would you like a black shirt to go with that black tux? You'll be cool. It's okay. Hi, I don't know. But your mom's new best friend won and got to give his whole speech.
Sterling K. Brown.
Yes. He was talking fast this time. He learned his lesson.
Yeah. And he thanked his wife right up top.
Yes. But he went early in the night. Early in the night, you could have a few more words because
that is true.
All the airtime hadn't yet been sucked up.
I fast forwarded, but it did sound to me like Gary Oldman went on for a while.
He did. But, he was playing Winston Churchill. He's got to orate a little bit, right?
I guess so.
Was one of the things you fast forwarded past Hugh Grant's hair? There was something going on with Hugh Grant's hair. I'm not quite sure what it was.
No, I guess I missed that.
It was not attractive. See if you can find a picture of him and we'll talk about it.
Okay.
What exactly went wrong there for Hugh? If it's, I don't know. But, did you see where the award for Best Director, I think, was Natalie Portman? And
and she said the all-male nominees are.
Now, okay, I understand that's the theme of the night. But you say it right before you say their names, so they can't look happy because then they look like jerks. And it's not their fault. That's on the Hollywood Foreign Press. They didn't pick themselves. They're just guys doing jobs, and somebody's giving them an award. And now, right before you give it to them, you're going to diss them?
Yeah, I did feel bad.
I felt
bad for them, because then when each person's name was announced, they were just sort of sitting there looking chagrined, like, I'm sorry.
What the heck? It's not like they made a pact to have there be no women directors. That's on your host, Natalie.
But I sort of feel like that was her ad lib.
Oh, I'm sure she did. I'm sure it was, and I think it was tacky.
Mm-hmm.
Shame. So, but that was the thing, and I guess everybody had to just kind of sit there and take it if they didn't like it. But I don't know. So, did you listen to Oprah?
I did listen to Oprah
because I muted and/or fast forwarded past Oprah, and thought about all the people who were going to have to give 10-second acceptance speeches because nobody tells her to get off the stage.
Yeah, but also she got that sort of lifetime achievement type award. Yeah, so I think there's a different
there he is, but you're still a human being, and you're taking time from your colleagues, and
Yeah, I didn't find it I didn't find it excessive.
Yeah.
I did, lots of people afterwards were like, Oprah for president, and it for sure sounded like a campaign speech. I mean, the kind of campaign speech that you hear from a person that you like. Do you know what I mean? Like, how when you hear it, you're like, I could go for that, and sort of no matter what that, I don't know. It's not like I'm saying that I am ready to start knocking on doors for Oprah for president, but I was probably inclined to like what she said.
Yeah.
And I thought that she did a good job, and she talked about her mom, and she talked about people who have faced a lot of abuse and discrimination, and how how brave it is when people come forward, but also how hard it is. Mm-hmm. How we can't discount the people who cannot come forward. That it really is impossible for some people to do that. So yeah, she looked awesome in her glasses. So. I mean, I think, where they could have cut back was on Reese Witherspoon's introduction of her.
Yeah. Oprah did not look very comfortable with Reese Witherspoon's introduction. Do we really need to be told now, at this point in time, how fabulous Oprah is. Hasn't that sort of been established as a
like
fact?
everybody
Don't you
knows
look
that.
up fabulous in the
Exactly.
dictionary and has a picture of Oprah.
Right. So just let her talk and you don't need to go on. So that was a thing that happened, and now it's award season.
That was Golden Globes. And now moving on, we had the unusual experience of watching a single episode of The Good Place exactly when it aired. Well, not exactly when it aired because I caught up with it on the weekend, but the week that it aired instead of watching the entire first season this year and catching up with the second season thus far. So it has come back after a little break for football, and we are right on it now. We are up to date. So what did you think of Leap to Faith, Catherine?
Yeah, it was exciting to know that it was coming on and we were all caught up and we were ready to watch it. I did, like you, I ended up watching it. I just watched it the next day, not too far away. But yeah, and it had been left on a cliffhanger of Michael being found out for his shenanigans with his neighborhood, trying to reboot it, 800 times, I believe, was somewhere around the number that he did.
Well, we thought he had been caught out. It seemed as though he had been caught out. Sean said, "Shut the door, have a seat," which is a line from Mad Men.
I didn't know that. Right, and then we find out that he's actually there to congratulate Michael for his amazing success.
Nice twist.
So like this show has been doing all along, little twists, little surprises, and I'm like this close from not buying how clever Eleanor is at figuring out what's going to happen or what is happening or the hints that Michael is leaving. But I just really like the character and I like the actor, so I'm into it still, even though it's
kind of convenient.
It does strain a little bit in the belief, but as we continue to say, just let the art wash over you.
Exactly right. Yeah, I think it was a little more of a stretch for her to get it the first time to figure out that they're in the bad place based on the information she had, rather than this time because they did in the previously show that she just had this heart-to-heart with Michael, and so I think as much as anything, she wants to believe that wasn't all faked,
right?
And they've been milking this Bortles thing all along. They've been talking about, not only has it been a running joke with Jason, but they've also been, the Good Place, the Twitter account for the Good Place follows only two accounts, the Jacksonville Jaguars and Blake Bortles. So it's an ongoing thing. They've been pushing the Bortles both on and off the thing. So I think that was okay for that to be the thing that makes her figure it out, that he got that name wrong. They've been, if they've been mentioning it as much in the Good Place as off the Good Place,
right?
There's no way Michael would screw that up, and that the name that he used was Derek. So I'm willing to give it to him. But I thought that the form they did of it was fun, where you don't see till the end what actually happened. And when the train pulled out and they were all laying there on the tracks, I was genuinely surprised.
Yes,
that was very cool. But I love that when they're going through the reveal and they're trying to think of what was different about all of their roasts, and when Chidi realizes what his was, no! That was very nice. That was very well done. And I love the little bit at the end where they sent Derek off to Mindy St. Clair with 2 duffel bags of cocaine.
A little thank you to Mindy St. Clair for putting up with a lot from them.
Found a use for Derek. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I really did. I mean, I don't know how many times can this thing reboot itself? I hope does the writer's room have 800 different ways to do this show? Because they're already on to, what are they going to do now?
I know. That's how it leaves you almost every week, right? How is this going to continue? So
I mean, they had that cliffhanger at the end of the break. They could just as well have had this episode at the end of the break, because it's just as much of a cliffhanger. What do they do now? And how are they going to... Are they going to really try to get to the good place? I mean, we know they have a 3rd season, so it's like they've got the rest of this season and a whole nother season's worth of stuff to figure out. God bless them. I'm sure they will. they're versatile, but
right.
way to keep up in your degree of difficulty, people.
Absolutely.
But I did enjoy the comeuppance for Vicky, and yeah, it was. I watched it the first time I watched it. I thought, oh, that was okay, and then I watched it again, and I liked it better. And I've watched it 3 times now because it's on my DVR, and I can fast forward through the commercials, so it's very easy if I'm sitting on the couch. I'll just watch that Good Place again
one more time.
But what I found about this show more and more and more is that it is impossible to explain to anybody who hasn't watched it what the heck is going on.
Right.
Most of the first season, you could say, oh, it's this show about the good place, and this lady's there accidentally, and she's trying to earn her way to be there. But now, there's been so many others. My daughter and husband were watching it, and I'm like, I can't explain this to you, but the people are funny. Just go with it. Right. Which my daughter could do and my husband could not. So it just, you can't, there's too much to explain, and it's not as funny in the explaining as it has been in the acting out. No,
and you really need all of it to
need all of it
to get all the jokes and to appreciate. I mean, you can appreciate the acting and some of the jokes without everything that comes along with it, but the full experience is worth waiting for. It's worth going through all of it to get to this point.
It's funny, we watched most of this show spoiled, and then this new episode came out, and I didn't get a chance to watch it that night, and it's like, I can't go on my Twitter feed, because I follow The Good Place on Twitter. I can't look at any of my TV critics I like, because I don't want to be spoiled this time. I want to be surprised. Mm-hmm. And it's a good thing I didn't, because it would have been a big spoil.
Right.
So that's going to be a thing now. We're going to have to wear blinders until we get around to sitting in front of our DVRs.
That's right.
Yeah, that's going to be a different experience, but
it's fun.
They're still making it work. Mm-hmm. God bless them. I don't know how much longer it can go, but so far. I'm
here for the ride to see what happens.
I am here for the ride, definitely. But there's already some good gifts coming down out of this one. Good lines. So if anybody listening to this is a Good Place fan and does not already follow The Good Place on Twitter, and also No Context The Good Place on Twitter, those are both worth following. They're very fun, and the Good Place one is done with a real sense of humor, not just promotion alone. So it's worth checking out. Yeah. And then, we'll get to next week later, but for this week, we have our challenge for the day, which is Bridesmaids, the movie, which I never saw, even though it was out quite some time ago. Catherine, what is your history with this movie?
I remember actually seeing it in the theater.
You did? Yes. I thought you just now saw it on the plane. You actually saw it before that?
No, I didn't watch it on a plane. I just saw it as in the listings on the plane.
Yes.
Which reminded me that it was out there. And
would I not want to be watching that on a plane?
No, not on a plane. I mean, there are some cringy parts for sure that you just don't want to be with strangers for sure.
No.
When you're watching this movie.
Yes.
And I usually don't like any sort of cringy comedy, anything like phone pranks on the radio, I turn it off. I can't stand it. And this has a fair amount of that stuff.
It does.
But I can get past it for the parts that are very funny and also the parts that are very sweet, and the friendships among the women are really nice to see. I mean, towards the end when Kristen Wiig's character has a fight with her best friend, which played by Maya Rudolph, and Maya Rudolph's character says, "Why can't you just act fine and then go say bad things about me behind my back like a normal person?" Like, yes, that is so real. That is something someone would say.
That is, yeah. I'll admit, I mean, I share your dislike of cringy comedy, and even some of the stuff, I mean, I loved the friendship stuff, but the whole stuff with Rose Byrne constantly upstaging Kristen Wiig's character, that after a while got to feel cringy to me too. I just felt so bad for was it Annie?
Kristen
yes,
Wiig's
I felt
character.
so bad for Annie. I did a thing that you can't do when you see the movie in the theater, which is fast forwarded through some parts.
a little bit.
Scene in the dress shop, fast forwarded. The dueling engagement party speeches.
Yeah, that went on for a long time.
Yeah, I could just see where things. I know where this is going to go. I've heard of where it goes in the first place, and in the second place, I can guess. So some of that stuff I skipped, but I generally love the friendship stuff, and the way that ends up, where in the end she is really the person that her best friend needs, and that Rose Byrne's character, who has been Helen, I guess, has been very snooty and uppity, is really lonely and just really wants friends.
Insecure and lonely.
Yes,
Yeah.
and the whole romantic comedy aspect with her and Chris O'Dowd was just adorable.
It's
and I was
very
completely there for that.
Yes.
That stuff I might have rewound and watched again and not fast forwarded it through. It was so cute and just, true to the way people sort of sabotage themselves sometimes. And, both of them a little bit. And so I really, really enjoyed that. And was worth all the uncomfortable stuff for that part.
Yeah, I think so too.
I liked and was surprised by the fact that Annie was really the main character in the whole thing. It was really about her as much as it was about the wedding and the bridesmaids and the, her sort of hitting bottom and then hitting a little further down bottom and then hitting
Right.
and then bottoming out again, but eventually kind of putting things back together for herself. And that was
her mom's character.
Yeah, Jill Clayburgh. Hi, Jill Clayburgh.
Right?
I remember you.
I just love when she's all sad and her mom says, "Well, I'll make you a tuna fish sandwich."
Yes.
She says, "Mom, it's like 9:00 in the morning. Put syrup on it."
Yes. That was very good. I really liked her character and her performance, and would have enjoyed it, the rest of it being scaled down to that, because there's enough nonsense in just a normal wedding without the hugeness of that.
Right.
I kind of wished against that. But that's the kind of movie it was. So I guess be happy for the parts that I dug. And fast forward through the ones I didn't.
There you go.
But all in all, I would say I enjoyed watching it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So.
I think the actors, overall are just lots of fun. I mean, I didn't need Ellie Kemper and that other woman being those two additional bridesmaids. I get that you need a bridal party.
Yeah.
But I didn't care about them.
Well, I didn't care about them except that I disliked Helen so very, very much and wanted her to go away that I would have taken more time with everybody else. And
Melissa McCarthy with her 9 puppies that she took.
They're giving away puppies as favors.
Right, puppies with pink berets. Not just
In
any
how many
puppies.
different ways is that wrong?
I know.
Shame.
But when Melissa McCarthy comes, when her character comes to Annie and has her big, listen, you need a friend? Hello?
Yes.
I'm right here.
Let me pound you until you come to your senses.
Right.
Yeah, that was
a lot of fun.
A little bit of that character went a long way.
Yes.
But I could have completely done without Rebel Wilson and her weird brother as the roommates.
Yeah.
That was uncomfortable in a non-amusing way. But
yes, although it was just another notch below.
Another notch.
Below
Yes.
rock bottom for poor Annie.
And getting all our comedy people we want to get in there, I guess. And John Hamm playing just an unmitigated jerk with great glee and a complete lack of vanity. It's just so awful.
Oh, the worst.
So amusing that it was him. You say he was uncredited? I didn't realize that.
Yeah, but, he's not listed anywhere, and I don't know if that's
some unknown actor that nobody would recognize, so it's fine.
Yeah, I don't understand why Was it because he was just like doing them a favor and they didn't want to have to pay him? Or, I don't know.
In which case, the fact that he recurred so many times through the movie seems odd. I could have seen him be the jerk she's with at the beginning. And by the way, the beginning, oh my goodness, as we talked about before the podcast, my daughter was going to watch this movie with me, and we're sitting there watching that, and I'm like, should I say something? Nope, just going to let her flow over. And a little while in, she said, I think this is not for me.
Right.
So, it puts the R rating out there right away, just in case you thought it was a different kind of movie. Thanks for making it clear. So that was entertaining. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, I mean, one of those movies that it's just good to have watched, right? I mean,
there you go.
Now you know when people refer to it.
I can check that off my entertainment bucket list,
That's right.
Well, for next week's challenge, we had talked before about possibly watching an episode of Suits because you were curious to see Meghan Markle, soon-to-be royal bride, in her previous claim to fame.
Yeah.
And the thing, I watched Suits with my husband for a couple of seasons. He is still watching it. I faded out somewhere along the way, not because I didn't like it necessarily, although I'm kind of queasy about legal dramas. But just there's so much, I've had so much work, I just can't keep up with most TV shows. So I've had to prune it down significantly and say, honey, you go ahead and watch those. Peak TV, yes. So I tried to pick an episode that I kind of remember seeing from the season or two that I watched it. And there was a season 2, episode 13 called Zane versus Zane, which deals very much with Meghan Markle's character and her father.
Okay.
So I think that would be a good one to watch to kind of get a look at her and see what she used to do before she became royal. So we are going to watch that for the challenge next week, and we will also watch the next brand new episode of The Good Place, which is on Thursday at 8:30. We will watch it then or sometime after, but certainly before we record. And that is going to be it for our round 2 today. Please subscribe to our Parenting Roundabout podcast so you won't miss any of our episodes, including our daily speed rounds and weekly group chats. As always, you can find recaps, links, and an opportunity to comment on our website at parentingroundabout.com. Goodbye, Catherine.
Bye, Terri.
Goodbye, everybody.